number 2, day number 2 from Puerto Vallarta, Mexico, features 2 top 25 caliber teams. The Duke Blue Devils, now all of a sudden as hot as anybody in America, off a commanding win against Iowa State, taking on the Nebraska Cornhuskers, who want to bounce back after falling to the Washington Huskies last night, right here on FloSoftball. Happy to have you along for the ride once again. Corey Brooks, Nicole Mendez with you. This one's a really interesting one, Nicole. Nebraska is going through a lot of emotions right now. A tough loss will always weigh on you, but you can categorize that as, hey, it's the early season. Seeing Jordy Ball shaken up, that was really, really impactful for this team and for all of Husker Nation. But now they have to turn around and go up against a Duke team that's playing some exceptional softball. Kaylin Kinney and this Nebraska group will have their hands full.
Absolutely. And I mean, that's something that I think everybody's been looking forward to. Oh my gosh, Nebraska, they have Jordy Ball. This is what it's going to be. And there's this big buildup in the very first game, not even all the way through, but kind of gets shaken up, gets a little injured, and don't see her here today. Don't know if we would have seen her here regardless, but it's something that probably weighs on the minds of this Nebraska team. But I think of one thing that we heard from Nebraska prior to this tournament is something that they've been doing is taking moments to pause. They take the time to reflect on the day. They took the time to reflect on their fan day. They took the time to, wow, look at our stadium, look at our field. They're doing construction out here. They're looking at everything, and they take the time to be grateful. And so I think somewhere in the midst of the chaos of last night and the game of today, they probably took the time. This is what's going on. This is how we're feeling. How do we move forward? And I'm excited to see what their response is.
Senior Kaylin Kinney starts it out with strike one. Deanna Jennings is off to a tremendous start to her year. On base just about every other time through her first couple of games here, hitting leadoff once again for Duke. Chopped up foul. Kaylin Kinney. She can go drop, she can go screw. It's two plain break. For 7 appearances last year before suffering a hand injury, but was so aggressive in her rehab. Coach Ravel saying it was not one day off. They're excited to have her back. That's why she avoids the dangerous Jennings, opening the day with a strikeout.
Jennings has been pretty much bread and butter here for Duke. She's been so consistent. Even if she's not getting on base, something's happening. Defense is feeling pressure she's putting into play. So for her to get out on a strikeout like that, that's huge for Nebraska to start the tone early against a Duke offense that likes to be the one that sets the tone themselves.
El Tapia comes in next. Behind her, it'll be Anna Gold, Claire Davidson, Amina Vega, Kelly Torres, Kelsey Zampa, Frankie Freelich, and Jada Baker. So no lineup changes for Coach Young and Duke, and following maybe the oldest cliche in the book: if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
You can see as this game is starting, behind the plate, the fans have started to pile in. The volume's back up. It's loud. Nebraska was loud last night as well, but you can see the packed house for them.
I think the two teams wearing red, Nebraska and OU, representing two of the biggest fan bases we've got here in Puerto Vallarta. As Giselle Tapia works for the walk.
Stepping to the plate, third base, number 4.
Defense behind Kinney here. It's Neal, Andrews, and Bland in the outfield. That's Brooke Andrews in center. Always have to clarify. Gray is at short. Billy Andrews is at short. Gray is at third. Kaneda's at second. Bacon's at first. Kenny and Breadwell is the battery here for the Cornhuskers. On a goal, big hat, strike one.
Talking about what we're going to see from Kitty, she has a 2-level drop. So one drop, it's going to drop off. There's great movement on both of them, but one will finish being a strike. The other one, it starts on the same plane, but drops off the face of the earth. That one, kind of going too high, gets her in on the hands. It's 2 free bases back to back after starting off really well with the strikeout.
Yeah, Anna Gold has had a great tournament, although a bit of a painful one. That's the 3rd time she's been plugged in 2 games and now an at-bat.
Sacrifices of a good hitter?
No doubt. Claire Davidson watches ball 1. There was a time, and it's still true to a point, but right after the rule change where you didn't necessarily have to get out of the way, where hit by pitch was emphasized, a lot of teams were saying, hey, you know, don't throw your elbow out, but wear it, and wear it with pride. And we saw a huge jump in hit by pitches accordingly.
I mean, I thought that rule change was for the better. It makes pitchers learn how to control the zone. As a hitter, you're not subjected to having to feel like you need to move out of the way, even though it's gonna hit you. You know, every possible thing. Sometimes you can just stand your ground. This is a space that I'm standing in. I'm well within my box. Let me just turn in, and if I get hit, I get hit. That's not my fault.
I completely agree with you. However, if Kat Osterman was on this broadcast, we'll catch up with her later here on Flow. I have to imagine she's probably taking the other side of that argument. The eternal hitter versus pitcher debate. Claire Davidson has hit it really well today, but that one straight at. And so Amina Vega comes up.
Now batting second base, number 17, Amina Vega.
Oh, Amina Vega gives it a ride to the right. Amina Vega one-hops the fence. Tapia and Gold both score. Duke does it again in the first inning. It's a 2-piece.
Oh my gosh. What a fired up team this is. I mean, I think it's kind of good that Matt struggled against Oklahoma, because clearly that woke something up with Duke. Watch this swing again, because it's as good as it gets. Over the plate, just takes it with her. Deep, deep out to right center. And we've talked about this before. The gaps on that field, that fence, it feels like it goes on forever. For it to get that far, that was a hard hit line drive.
Yeah, she rocked that. Had a home run feel off the bat. Nancy Almaraz Stadium just big enough to keep it in. And this is the exact same story we had in the first game today for Duke. 2 out clutch hitting, bringing in the offense.
that one off the foot. You always hate to see the foul balls off the foot. Kind of have to shake the leg out, walk it off, get back in.
Torres very quickly back in the box. Watches one outside. Kelly will be a little lighter in the workload category in this one, sliding into the DP spot. Had been the catcher, now she'll cede that to Frankie Freeland. Right now her focus, and her focus all of today, will be on hitting. Lift it up. Andrews has eyes for it. That's where it ends. Still a 2-out, 2 RBI double from the preseason All-American Vega as the Blue Devils right back on track.
Setting the defense. For Duke in the outfield. In left, 7, Claire Davidson. At center, number 10, Kiana Jennings. In right field, 11, Kelsey Zampa. In the infield, third base, number 4, Anna Gold. And shortstop, 25, Jada Baker. At second base today, number 17, Amina Vega. And at first, 29, Giselle Tapia. Your starting battery, catching 13.
This Duke team, in some ways, Nicole, was a known quantity because they had so much returning. We had a feeling of what they were capable of. But this group is playing at its absolute ceiling, firing on all cylinders. It has been unreal to watch this last 48 hours now for the Duke Blue Devils.
They've really been able to just kind of shake off that first game, not carry it with them, and say, you know what, we know who we are, we know what kind of offense we have. And I think the biggest thing is from game 1 to game 2, what was the adjustment? Did they watch film? Did they talk about it? Whatever it was, they knew, yes, we were getting good hits, but they were also kind of chasing out of the zone a little bit because we have too many pitchers. And that's the thing that I have not seen from them today. Their zone has been tight. A couple of missed swings here and there, but for the most part, they've been locked in to whatever their plan has been, and they have executed it so well. They've knocked out a couple of pitchers. I'm sure they're looking to do the same against Nebraska as they get on later in this game.
We had a feeling last game it would be Jayla Wright headed into game 2, and here she is. Wright off an inning yesterday, conceding 2 hits, but no runs, did strike out 1. The numbers last year, Jayla exceptional, a 2.51 ERA, 12-4, 133 and 2/3 innings pitched, 127 strikeouts, to just 63 walked. Anytime you go 2-1 in KWB, you're doing a lot of really good things, and Jayla Wright is certainly doing that. Zampa with eyes for it. One of the top defensive right fielders in our tournament. Makes a routine play and keeps it just that.
Now batting the catcher, 24.
Bringing Ava Brenwell here for Nebraska. Behind her, it's Sid Gray, Kaylin Kinney, Brooke Andrews, Emerson Cope, Caitlin Neal, Bella Bacon, and Sam Bland. The opening 9 on Revelle, the Nebraska Cornhuskers.
Nibbles right there at that corner.
You're right. So incredibly effective. Limited opponents to about a 200 batting average last year. Tapia, right place, right time. Made some nice plays over at first in our first game. A couple of good stretches.
Third base, number 7.
Defense can be a little underrated sometimes over at first base, but you got the super senior over there in Giselle Tapia, and she's done a really nice job. Certainly living up to the billing when Coach Young brought her to Durham. First pitch was Sydney Gray fired in there. Claire Davidson is out in left field once again for Duke. Yana Jennings roaming center. Kelsey Zampa is in right. Anna Gold over at third. Baker at short. Vega at second. Tapia at first, as we just saw. The battery is Freelick and right. Elevated towards Zampa once again. Kelsey Zampa again. No way. Yes way. Kelsey Zampa's that good.
Kelsey Zampa is unreal. If you're Duke, you want anybody to hit it that way because she has been eating it up time after time again. Defense wins championships. You've heard it here before. We talked about how slow it might be, but coming up next, maybe some more. SEC.
Teams from around the country, we're giving other athletes a chance to hone their skills for the college game. We have the tournament your family will never forget. Check out TripleCrownSports.com.
Kelsey Zampa continues to just create unreal plays, and yet completely real for this Duke team. It's tough to tell which one's better. Yesterday's I thought was going to be the high water mark of this tournament, and coming in once again, laying all the way out. What a defensive start to this season for Kelsey Zampa in right field.
Yeah, prime example of ACC defense right there. They have been so solid, but especially her. I mean, if it's within range, it doesn't matter if she has to jump a good 5 feet to get there. We saw that yesterday. She has a lot of coverage over her position. She knows where these hitters are going to be, and she's in the perfect spot at every single time it's been hit to her.
Right now, though, she's down 0-2 to Kaylin Kinney. We mentioned it yesterday, but it kind of bears repeating, especially with how she's playing. Kelsey only started 10 games last year and continued to work hard, earn her role, really shown in the fall, according to Coach Young, and has brought that momentum over to the start of the season. And Kelsey Zampa does it all. A leadoff single.
I mean, it just looks so easy for them. Contact, extension, get on base, run around, repeat. But I have to draw attention to Bland out there and right. The way that she got to that ball and was able to cut it off, that saved a double. That should have been a double. The way it was hit off the ball, the hardness of it, the line drive, that should have been a double. It's a great, again, stellar defense.
It was. I was getting ready to say leadoff double and had to cut the last word off. You're right. That absolutely looked like an extra base hit, and it was not. So it would have been apropos for Zampa right now. Frankie Freeling chopped at that one, but put it in a spot where Gray's only play was the first.
Yeah, definitely a hit and run right there. I think the chop allowed a little bit of time to avoid the double play, but definitely you want to avoid that third base, especially whenever you have that leadoff runner at second. Kind of got away with that one.
Jada Baker, good bunt. Kinney was not surprised. An honorable sacrifice. A few quick outs.
Talked again about Duke and how they love to push the envelope. They love to be aggressive. We saw the hit and run. We just saw the bunt. They're all about getting runners to be moving, causing chaos, causing the defense to have to work and put things together. And I think Nebraska, not fooled, but feeling a little bit of that pressure from Duke. Last inning, same thing as well. Runner at third.
Coach Rhonda's in the circle right now, and obviously she's got a tremendous feel for where this team is at. This is her 32nd year, and so she's got a pretty innate idea of where a game can hinge, and especially with this Duke team hitting the way they are with 2 outs on the board in this tournament. It really does become a swing spot, because this was exactly where the game ended for Iowa State. It was 2 outs in the second inning. Deanna Jennings swings and misses on the first.
And there's that lower level drop that you love to see, to be able to work that drop at 2 different planes and not be able to tell the difference until you're swinging.
Kinney fielding her position well, 2 straight plays. Duke kept off the board for what feels like the first time in a while and missed the second game of their doubleheader. Still very much in striking distance. Huskers coming back to bat. So this Nebraska pitching and defense that is going to be the heart of the team comes through in the second frame. Now the offense has to try and find an answer for Jayla Wright, which is easier said than done.
But, I mean, you have a team that is cut short the 5-6 inning rally that Duke has had these last 2 games together. Score, 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 score. They have some hot bats right now. Being able to hold them down. There were some good hits by Nebraska last inning. Weren't able to fall too many, but there was definitely some potential there for some chaos. The biggest thing is, can you string a couple hits together? I have this theory that if you have 3 or more hits in an inning, you're going to score at least 1 run.
Oh yeah, for sure. Kinney going after the first one she sees. Especially with the way Duke is able to run the bases and the aggression they've shown. 2-3 hits, certainly producing multiple runs the way they're playing today. And on the other side for this Nebraska team, they have not been unafraid of the adversity. It's actually something that Jordy talked about in an introductory press conference, saying the 5% mentality. And for firefighters, only 5% of the calls they get are the absolute worst case scenario. But you have to be ready for that 5%. You have to prepare as if everyone is that 5%. Well, right now, for these Cornhuskers, it's a 5% call. They're in it. And Jayla Wright is not making it any easier. Her first K today.
Now batting center fielder 27, Brooke Andrews.
Think of the wisdom and the knowledge and the experience that Jordy has brought to this Nebraska team as well. She's won 2 national championships in her own right, has been an ace, knows what the top team in the nation, how they think, how they plan, how they prep, and she's been able to share that with her teammates. That has to bring them to a new level. I think a team is only as good as its weakest link. So being able to bring everybody and elevate everybody on that team, push them to go to that next level, was huge.
Again, we certainly hope the best for her. I'm sure a lot of folks watching back in Lincoln want an update. There isn't one to give at the moment. Everything's still being evaluated, and hopefully it's a very, very short-term thing. You were absolutely on it, though, Nicole, in the process of what happened. It was her cleat getting stuck. You mentioned it the second it happened, and that is how it went down for one of the most heralded players in the sport. That one's in the dirt. Slow roll, Tapia wins the race.
There's always tough ones for first baseman, and to your point of talking a couple innings ago, to be able to be a first baseman and to field your position, catch those short hops. No, how far can I come off the line to field that? That was a good 3-4 steps. That's probably right at that limit, but she knows her speed. She knows the runner speed. She's able to get back in time.
That's where it helps having a grad student over there as well. She's been there and done that. At this point, there's no roller that is new for her. Freshman Emerson Cope. Excited about her in the circle, but she can hit as well. Just flat out strength. As we saw very clearly in fall ball, where she did what pretty few have. Hit a home run off Jordy Ball. Tried to elevate on that one. but Wright evades the bat.
She has been finding her groove and just working up and down the scale of this strike zone.
Oh, to Tapia. She's been busy, sticks with it for out number 3. Jayla Wright is absolutely dealing everything Duke right now.
Never miss a game with FloSoftball. You can watch today's event live along with all other FloSoftball events the rest of the season. Visit FloSoftball.tv for more information and to sign up for your subscription today. That's FloSoftball.tv.
Off we go to the top of the 3rd. Kaylin Kinney coming off her best inning of work, facing only 4. She'll go against 2-3-4 here. This Duke Blue Devil team.
Top of the 3rd inning, leading it off for Duke, 29, Giselle Tapia.
Ready to see what Duke's adjustment is going to be after being held scoreless for the first time in 6 innings. One thing that I have seen a little bit more from Kinney, she has that great drop ball where it has 2 planes and she has the off speed. I've seen a couple of pitches that she's thrown up in the zone with a little bit of movement.
Fluttered that in.
There's that off speed. What makes her change so great is you can't tell it's coming. Sometimes whenever pitchers throw the change, they slow down, their body slows down. You can see them do something in that pitch that they don't normally do. Not so with her, smooth all the way around.
Yeah, you were talking about it yesterday, but you have to lock in, right? Pitchers are so good. You can't have every single plane covered. You got to pick one, and that changeup does not end up where you think it's going.
Yesterday we talked about the art of picking pitches and how a lot of teams are going to the electronic pitch caller where it looks like an Apple Watch. You'll get a buzz. It'll tell you what pitch it is. But hitters.
Kinney's second K.
Hitters still can have the opportunity. Players in the dugout can still have the opportunity. Once you get on the mound, if you give something away, if you tip it, that can be picked as well. So that art doesn't go away completely. And I think there's a lot to be said for pitchers who disguise every pitch the same way.
Yeah, there's no way to get rid of that one, where if you've got a mechanical tell, that's the one, even more so than signs, I think, where if you see it coming, as an offensive group, you will almost always tee off. Gold nearly teed off on that one.
She's been swinging it so well last game. Multiple hard hits. On base just about every single time. We talked about hitters maybe having the disadvantage as they come into the beginning of the season, but doesn't look like it for her.
Yeah, no, maybe not all hitters are created equal in that sense.
That also speaks to the prep work that Duke has put in.
Agreed.
With their practice leading up to this weekend.
Coach Young told us that the freshman group that played so well last year has come back. They're on a mission. They got a real taste. It was the first ever Durham Super Regional. That was not a phrase that existed until last year. And now they want to take it even further to a new first, Duke and Oklahoma City. On a goal, hit it well. Brief bop with Mike Pineda is enough.
You hit the ball hard enough, you're going to make that defense have to work. Talked about Iowa State not having a ton of field experience. Nebraska not having a ton of field experience. It was underneath feet of snow, feet and feet and feet of snow. They got a couple of days in, a little bit of practice, but for teams that might be able to get a little bit more, it makes all the difference in the world, especially whenever you hit it that hard.
Yeah, shout out to the grounds crew in Lincoln. They did all they could. Coach Ronda talked about it. They had 18 inches of snow on the field last Monday. Still managed to get some dirt on top of it to be able to play. That's dropped into center. Gold takes the wide turn. She slides into third. Blue Devils at the corners.
And there's that aggressive base running that we love to see from Duke. As soon as you see it's in no man's land, immediately Gold is looking to get out on third.
Brings Amina Vega to bear. Already with the biggest swing in this young ball game. Her 2 RBI double. And she is batting .500 in this tournament so far. 4 hits and 8 at-bats. Pop throw down, never even gets there. Easy for Claire Davidson. Brings a meeting of the minds in the circle, because this is a very dangerous spot now for Nebraska. Vega's already brought in 2 today, and now she's got a chance for 2 more. Meanwhile, for Claire Davidson, just an absurd tournament continues. 4 hits, 6 RBI, all of which came last game. 2 doubles, home run, walk, stolen base. Claire Davidson feeling like a lock for the all-tournament team here for the Duke Blue Devils. Great in the fall, where Duke went 8-0. Last year's fall was up and down, a lot of new players in new places. This year, Duke is locked in. 15 letter winners back, and that returning ability and chemistry has so very clearly shown for this squad out of Durham. And in a loaded field here in Puerto Vallarta, a fairly clear top tier is emerging, and it is Oklahoma and Duke.
I think the way that Duke has come together, the style of play that they're putting out right now, only makes this an even better experience for Nebraska, because it's challenging, Kenny. Can you step it up? Can you pitch against this top tier, this team that's separated above the best, right? Does your stuff match up? Does your stuff beat them? Well, this is a challenge, and there's no Jordan Ball right now to fall back on. In the back of her head, she's like, I need to take care of business. And I think this is a great challenge for her.
Slow roll, but it's foul. It's great communication down the line. You could hear that foul from here, dead. Be remiss, by the way, if I didn't mention the Washington Huskies in that top tier. They're 1 for 1 and had an outstanding game against Nebraska, so don't want to exclude them by any means, but at least for now, and this is subject to change as we'll see Washington and OU tonight, but I do really feel like Duke and OU are the best 2 teams in the tournament.
That's a game I'm chomping at the bit to watch. I can't wait to see those two battle it out. Had a great game last year at the Mark Campbell tournament. Meeting again here in Puerto Vallarta this year. 2 really, really great programs.
One's a little away. The two games that I think everyone in the softball world had circled. There's a lot of great games and an incredible field, but the top 2 tonight and the one we had yesterday between Duke and OU. Also, ironically, a rematch from early last season. One last word of wisdom here for Kelly Torres.
Curious to see if she gave her a call, a play, an action call. You know, Duke, they like to be aggressive. They like to push the limits, even with 2 outs.
Or did Coach Young see something in the delivery of Kaylin Kinney? Kinney's 2-2. Turned on by Torres, we'll see another.
Kinney's placement of that up pitch has consistently been on the level of Duke's hands. It's a hard pitch, clear the hips, clear the hands, get the barrel out. It's a great location for her.
2-2 one more time. Just tried to get Torres to chase. Kelly's been locked in.
Love the way she was thinking. Speed her up, slow her down. A little bit of off speed. Might go back to it.
Payoff Torres. We'll see an 8th pitch here in this at-bat. If Torres reaches, it will be Kelsey Zampa next for Duke. The battle becomes a war. Early swing point in this one. Torres walks.
And that battle, that grit, that relentless, I'm fouling. Leads to a hitter who had an amazing at-bat.
Zampa slow rolls it, it gets by Gray. Bases still full for Duke. Kelsey Zampa hit it hard enough, and the Blue Devils add one more.
That one also might have bumped on the bag, might have given it a funky hop.
The breakout season for Kelsey Zampa continues, and when you're playing the way she is, the ball just bounces your way sometimes. Here's Frankie Freelick. Watching strike one. Is officially ruled a single. I think that's right. Credit the RBI to Kelsey Zampa.
Freelick with the big giant swing on that lower drop ball.
It is an
A
unearned
little bit
run,
up in the
by
box
way.
as well. What was that?
Reaching on an error. Foul territory within range. Though the bases are left loaded as Gray snags it in foul territory, but Duke with 2 outs has been a machine across the border.
Third inning for the Blue Devils, 1 run on 2 hits. It was an error, 3 runners left on base. We go to the bottom of the 3rd inning. It's Duke 3, Nebraska nothing.
Jayla Wright already had plenty of momentum in that circle. And with her team continuing to churn on offense, she will just keep feeling confident. Smiles right now in that Duke dugout. These doubleheader days can sometimes be a challenge. Not at all right now for the team out of Durham. Neil, Bella Bacon, and Sam Bland. Let's read you up here.
Leading it off with the Cornhuskers, number 19, left fielder Caitlin Neal.
GBR chant, as strong as ever despite the 3-run deficit. Heel down. This is the time of the year where Caitlin Neal really thrives. The early tournament last year, she led the way for Nebraska, hitting .455. Trying to get right now against Jayla Wright.
Get right, indeed. And tell the way she stays grounded into her legs. Even on that take, you could see the activation. You could see the firing through that bottom half. That's what's generating all that power for her.
Vega, first out.
Now batting first base, number 3,
Bella Bacon stepping in the batter's box for the first time. Saw her flexed out of the lineup with Jordy hitting last night. And so number 3 now gets some action in PV. And she's first pitch swinging. No lack of aggression for both these two teams.
Seeing Nebraska pretty quickly coming up off of that drop off from right, kind of topping it just a little bit. Would love to see them extend through that ball just a little bit longer to find some power behind it.
Jayla Wright making it easy on her defense right now.
And again, that ground ball, Nebraska a little bit too much in the middle of the plate. I would like to see them either scooch back or scooch up, make the adjustment. They're catching it right as that ball is breaking. Move back in the box, you'll be able to give yourself more time to make that decision.
Tough to pick up Jayla Wright under the best of circumstances. And that one catches too. Jayla's about 2-1 right now, strikes the balls.
Yeah. See Freelick talking to Wright, loving the way that she's been down, down, down. Peppers that one pitch up in the zone to be able to offset and change up the eyes, change up what the body's feeling.
Waste pitch there from Wright. I think a little lower than she intended. And with nobody on base, that's just good exercise work for Freelick. There's the strikeout. Wright's third. Absolutely no answers for Jayla Wright right now.
Bottom of the third for Nebraska. No runs, hit there. Nobody left on. We'll move on to the top of the fourth inning. It's the Blue Devils 3, the Cornhuskers nothing. College sports evaluation is on the cutting edge of sports analytics. Founded in 2020 by the owner of Triple Crown Sports, Dave King, CSE provides youth and collegiate athletes with verified sensor data. Trusted by and tested with over 200 college programs, CSE's team of dedicated mathematicians provide the only valid data outlet available to accurately evaluate players as they compare to collegiate levels. Visit the CSE Tech today to learn more.
When we spoke to even the other coaches about this tournament field, here they consistently mentioned this Duke team, even in the preseason, felt like a World Series team. I think we've got some really smart coaches here.
Smart coaches indeed. Nebraska, tons of experience, being able to see multiple generations of softball players come through, some of the best. Duke, I feel like they really embrace a new age softball mindset, if you will, kind of unconventional, aggressive, fast. How quickly can we get to the top? What do we have to do? But both of them so great in their own right. But I think one thing that you'll find in common between these two, and with a lot of really great programs, is the close-knit bond that their teams have, the synergy, the connection.
Nothing Duke lead. Here in the top of the fourth. Kaylin Kinney has only conceded 4 hits, but they have been impactful, particularly the Vega double. Right up a shoot. Boy, that camera well here at Nancy Almaraz Stadium has been a target.
Yesterday, I think it hit the camera head on. Today, it's rattling around. Cameraman tossing the ball back down.
Great vantage point for us to bring you the game, but it is not without its risks. Can of corn for the first.
Now batting, center fielder number 10, Deanna Jennings.
Lineup flips for Deanna Jennings. Kaylin has done the best job of any pitcher in this tournament against the prolific leadoff hitter Jennings. 0 for 2.
Prep that Nebraska put in to be able to study the lineup, know, okay, it's not just maybe who's the best hitter, but also who's the hottest hitter. What is the spark plug in this lineup? Because you cut off the spark plug, nothing's going to start.
Right now, they've done the first part of the job. It has been the heart of the order that's really produced for Duke.
Now batting first pitch, 29, Giselle Tapia.
Tapia watching the screw for ball 1.
Tell she wanted that pitch. Kinney liked that off speed.
Yep.
I think it was the right location. You could tell by the way Tapia kind of bowed out of that, but a little bit too high in the zone.
Giselle gives it a ride into left. Andrews ranging back to make a nifty catch. Kaylin Kinney sends him down in order for the first time. Duke stymied. Nebraska looking for some offense.
Leading it off for the Cornhuskers, shortstop, number 6, Billy Andrews.
Billy Andrews, the leadoff hitter in the first inning, the leadoff hitter in the 4th inning. Kayla Wright has done the job thus far. And that thing goes from the knees to the feet before you can blink.
Such a testament to her movement. It's been 3 up, 3 down all the way through this lineup. First time back at the top of the lineup for Billie Andrews. But even then, her movement has been so consistently inconsistent. It's hard to see a pattern. It's hard to see where she's going next. I think as you are hitting in a lineup and you're going through maybe the top 3, they say, oh, I see this pitch. And then as you get lower down, oh, I see this pitch. And you make that adjustment by the time you get to 5, 6, 7, 8. But not this time. She has been so masterful at switching up her pitches, changing the eye level, changing the speeds. Looks so calm and composed while she's doing it as well.
There's a reason she threw over 130 innings for the Blue Devils last year. Just missing outside. Chopped up, Baker, the first out.
I really do think for Nebraska here, you can see them talking to each other as they're coming in and out. I think the key for them against her is to get back in that box, look for a drop ball or a screwball kind of in that lower inner corner of that strike zone. Look to drive something hard up the middle. Right now, they're too choppy, too on top of that ball. That's the area that they should be looking at, that pitch right in that lower inside quadrant.
The way Jayla's pitching right now, you're probably only getting 1 per at-bat, maybe. That gives you a chance. Slow roll, short toss, 2 down. Jayla Wright, along with a bunch of her teammates, went international this past summer in addition to right now. Jayla went to Costa Rica on a service trip, and she said it taught her a lot of perspective and perseverance, seeing folks over there living without a lot of the amenities that we enjoy in the U.S. and in Mexico. And so you do realize the softball world is incredibly important, but there are some things outside of it as well. It's a really cool thing that a bunch of players on this Blue Devil team got to do. It was Costa Rica and Vietnam.
Absolutely fooled on that off speed. I do think it's so good. We get so wrapped up into the production on field, and obviously that's what we're all here for. We want to watch a good game. But I do think whenever you as an athlete are able to open yourself up and understand that there's other things and you can grow yourself and you can learn from other experiences, you're able to bring that back onto the field.
Absolutely. And then the other end of that is something that Duke talks about a lot, where if something's not going your way, you can talk about it, embracing the importance of mental health. And I feel like, Nicole, that's something that's changed even since you played a few years ago. You know, a few years ago, if you weren't playing well, you had to grow up, eat it, overcome it. Now, it's okay to have that conversation. You're still expected to produce, but you don't have to do it alone. Woo! Jayla Wright, she's doing it by herself a little bit right now. 4 Ks, and Jayla Wright, the right choice for Duke.
chairs. Purple Crown Sports would like to recognize and thank the Sheraton Bougainvilleas, which has been a valued partner of Triple Crown Sports over the years. Thank you, Sheraton staff, for your continued hospitality during the Puerto Vallarta College Challenge.
Everything right now in Duke blue. They get the heart of their order coming up to bear. A group that has only been retired twice so far. Anna Gold, Claire Davidson, and Amina Vega.
Leading it off for Duke, third base, number 4, Anna Gold.
Anna Gold getting pretty close to a few career benchmarks. She's currently sitting at 95 runs scored. She needs 5 more to get to 100. And 95 RBI. That one just fouled.
I so love her last name too, right? Gold, good as gold. I don't know. We'll play around with that one a little bit.
Drop that one in a perfect pitch. Want to revisit that conversation we were just having, Nicole, because it really is something we've seen grow so much in sport, where the emphasis on mental health translates to success on the field and accompanies that success as it's up the middle for a base knock for Anna Gold.
Absolutely. I mean, as an athlete, you want to push yourself. You expect to push yourself to get better and better each and every day. But just like whenever a body's hurt, it's not smart to continue to push yourself in quite the same way, or you push yourself, but in a different way or a different area. Same thing with mental health. There's a lot of pressure that comes with being an athlete. That one dropped out in left field by Neal. I don't know. It was foul. There was a runner, I think, diving for that ball, going ahead and trying to get that last out for team right there. I think that would have been.
Hot throw down. Testing Gold, not enough. Stolen base for Anna Gold.
Going back to that mental health conversation, I know the Big 12, they had an initiative, and it was all about your mental health matters, right? And so whenever opposing teams would come in from the conference, or we would travel there, we would have psychologists who worked, and they worked on not just how are you feeling, but also how can you make yourself better mentally. And they knew what it is to be a student athlete, and they know how difficult it is to juggle, and they just gave you some tips, gave you some advice. And it wasn't just across softball in the Big 12, but it was across a lot of sports. And I think that starts the conversation and makes people more comfortable.
Pineda on the slow roller for the out. The average fan has no idea, and I don't mean that as an insult to the average fan. It's just difficult to see until you're in it, the amount of pressure that an athlete is under when they play at this level, especially at two programs like this, where the expectation is sky high. The craft, the honing of it that you had to do to get to this point, and then to continue to elevate your game. It is a massive, massive amount of pressure, as that one has a good amount of carry on it, and that's doing the job right there.
It's about as close as you can get. That one almost going out. Vega, she's shown some pop today. Good bounce back from the K, her last at bat. But Duke, again, scratching another run across. As long as they've been working, right? Innings 3, 4, 5, those are kind of the grinder innings. You got to scratch, call, fight, get those runs across any way that you can. Gotta tip your hat to Kenny. She's been doing a fantastic job working that up and down to these hitters.
That one looped into right. The hold at third, Blue Devils at the corners again.
Push the limits. You see a pitch you like, go after it. I think from the 4th to the 5th inning, Duke must have gotten into the huddle and said, okay, what is that one adjustment that we can make? What is the pitch that we want to go after? Because right now, we're getting a few, but we're not stringing them together. How can we bring a couple of runs across the board?
Does officially go down as an E7, by the way, on the Vega swing. Oh, that's nasty. Going to be a tough play, and it is made. Return throw not in time. They call the play, and they execute it. Well done by the Blue Devils.
I love that. That's a delayed squeeze. He squares around. Everybody thinks the runner at third is crashing home. But you could see her in the corner of that screen. She was standing there, but slowly creeping towards home. And as soon as the catcher threw down to first, she was off. You knew that's what she was planning if you were watching. Just a little step, a little creep, planning, anticipating, thinking 2 steps ahead of Nebraska. Excellent execution right there.
Yep, that's going to be the headline on Kelsey Zampa's tournament, is excellent execution. Because that's her second RBI today, her third productive at bat, because she had 2 singles prior to that. Kelsey Zampa on fire in Mexico. Freelick watching outside.
So from Duke, the willingness to buy into these action calls. We all know that they're capable of swinging the bat. We saw it last game. We saw the power, but to set aside your personal want for betterment of the team, if I do this squeeze and we score a run, yeah, I'm 100% willing to do that. If I do this hit and run, we get a runner in scoring position, that runner comes around to score. Yes, I'm absolutely down to do that. I'm down to buy into that. You can see it from Duke, from the first time they get a runner on first and they square around to the bunt, to that squeeze play that we just saw.
Buy-in is the right phrase. Right now, Kelsey Zampa and this Blue Devil team all the way in. Really gives it a ride into foul territory. Hit hard, Kaneda, the brief bobble, stuck with it. The sophomore, Kate Kaneda, plays beyond her years, but Duke pushes 2 more across. Blue Devils creeping towards a doubleheader sweep.
2 runs up, 2 hits. There was an error, 1 runner left on base. We go to the bottom of the 5th inning. It's the Blue Devils 5, Cornhuskers nothing.
Right now, there are 2 storylines for Duke. One, the offense running action plays, just like a Duke football team and a coach cut offense. Absolutely perfect and precise. And then on the other end of it, Jayla Wright has not even needed the run support. She has been beyond outstanding so far.
Leading it off.
Beyond
The Cornhuskers.
outstanding. Man, I love this Duke staff, the versatility. I think they're the most dominant, stand alone. As far as the pitcher comes in, they dominate, they complete their outing. And the next one comes up and they dominate and they complete their outing. And right now, I mean, she has been dealing absolute filth. You've seen the adjustment that Duke made this past half inning where they put in a lot more action play and they decided to go after the belt and higher balls. You saw them looking for pitches that were a little bit higher in the zone and attacking those a little bit more aggressively. With Nebraska, we've seen a ton of rollovers, a ton of ground balls, some really hard hit, but a lot on that lower half. And I think if they make the adjustment in the plate, if they try to get under those balls, maybe think, because they've been hitting on top, maybe think, try and hit a pop-up. What kind of adjustment that would look like and how that would affect their hits and their runners on base and ultimately runs scored.
Trying to adjust in real time. It's tough to do against Jayla Wright. That's her 5th K.
Now batting number 27, center fielder, Brooke Andrews.
Andrews watching strike 1. Can't state enough the emotional impact of seeing Jordy shaken up. Coach Ravel talked about it. They're going to be incredibly cautious with it, understandably so. You want every athlete to be protected, but particularly the face of the program right now in Jordy ball. Did take a couple of ground balls before this one, so seeming to be handling it well, but safety first. That one's looped up and easily corralled. It's no doubt it's in Kelsey Sampa's area code. She's coming down with it.
I was about to say, it's no surprise really that that one was caught. She's been tracking everything down.
Designated player 33, Emerson Cope.
Freshman Emerson Cope.
When you've been pitching as good as right and you've been so effective in pounding the zone, not letting up with those pitches, when you do accidentally miss like that one, sometimes you get those swings. You get those girls chasing after those pitches.
Drop that right in there. That's just completely unpredictable from Jayla Wright. Popped up, held by Vega. The right choice in the circle right now for Duke. Jayla Wright's doing the thing, y'all.
And officially human behind the stripes. Our mission is to elevate the respect of sport officials in every sport, in every contest, in every venue, at all levels of competition. Officially Human wishes to recognize and thank the umpires working today's contest, and we appreciate the good sportsmanship shown towards the officials by the fans in attendance. Learn more about Officially Human at officiallyhuman.com.
Coach Young and the Blue Devils are having a great time right now in Puerto Vallarta. Their doubleheader day has seen them up and up big in both of their contests. A potential statement weekend for the Duke Blue Devils. Not that they necessarily needed it, but it's right there. They've got Long Beach tomorrow to wrap up their tournament. That'll be the night game, 7:30 Eastern time.
Duke, they have been dominant, a 5-0 lead up against Nebraska, and every single one of those runs, they have scraped, they have clawed, they have been consistent. In this past inning, in the 5th, did such a good job. You could tell that there was an adjustment that they made as an offense. They were attacking a certain pitch, they were going after it, and there's a ton of action calls. And all that doesn't work if you can't execute. But man, they did such a good job. That tells me it's not just, okay, we're getting in the cage, we're doing our swings, you get out. There's intensity and there's focus behind it in their practices. There's intentionality with, we are gonna practice our call card today. We're gonna practice oppo, we're gonna practice quick adjustments. And that's what you see in game, batter to batter for this team.
Kate Olinsky into the game here for the Nebraska Cornhuskers. You can tell the biggest thing Coach Ravel's excited about, all you have to do is watch her pitch. Note, she throws with the left hand. Nebraska hasn't had a southpaw pitcher in a little bit. Baker's ball out for foul.
Now playing second base 32, Ashley Smetter.
Looks to be the first extended run of play here for Olinsky. There's that curve. It's a good one, and it just misses. That is her go-to pitch. Does not matter which batter's box the opponent's in.
That one's a floater. Sometimes those are the hardest off speeds to hit. But I like this response from Nebraska.
For you too. Warner going to catcher, Felix going to right, Bland going to left, Smetter going to second. We talked about it in the last game when I-State went to a couple of freshman pitchers, but there is absolutely an element of the response that is get our youngsters valuable reps against an elite hitting team. Jada Baker, a no-doubter.
Jada Baker. Man, what a smash. Teammates making her sit on the home run bucket. Triple pats all around. I love that response from Duke. Nebraska comes in, new pitcher, couple of changes defensively, and they say, you know what? Doesn't matter to me. It's all the same. So what? And you see an absolute monster blast out there in left field. That one cleared the benches out there.
Yep. Jada Baker likes to save her home runs for the biggest competition. Rangy play out there, just out of the reach of Bland. Jada's first career home run was against the most hated team in the Duke Athletic Department, the University of North Carolina. Jada Baker executing in the big spot. Deanna Jennings will not be sad to see Kinney go. That was advantage KK. Jennings is out of the box. That'll be strike three.
That's not a call that you see too often from a slapper, where the umpire will actually call her out of the box. And you'll see coach not too happy about that call, speaking to the umpire briefly, but as she was going, that was just a little bit too far over the plate.
Much less punishing call than it used to be. Just a strike instead of an out. But in that spot, when you've already got two down on you, it's the same result as back in the day.
I had a couple of girls that I played against growing up in college. They really struggled with the adjustment of in 2017. They were really, umpires were kind of hot on calling that for slappers. There was a lot of debate over it. A slapper saying, I can't keep my feet inside the box. Other people say that's the box, you have to work within the limits. And it's been something that's been kind of a up and down, just like the crow hop. They recently changed the rule on that.
Yeah.
Where once you pitch, as long as you're not replanting, it's fine. And I think the adjustment to that out of the box, because it happens so often, or kind of nod, okay, I understand where you're coming from. That's where you got, okay, it's just a strike instead of an out.
The rules becoming more lenient both ways. It lets good players do what they do. That's what this game's all about. Showcasing high caliber athletes at the highest level. That's a walk.
Third baseman number 4, Ama Gold.
Here's Anna Gold. And not that any pitcher facing her needs a warning of what she's capable of, but Nebraska will have a conversation just to remind, hey, here's how we want to attack.
Probably talking about how they want something in the ground, something for her defense to work with. Keeping it light, keeping it loose.
Aaliyah Terrell.
Yeah, Terrell will come in and run over at first base. Another one of those sensational sophomores for the Blue Devils. Started out at Boston College. Decided she wanted to come back home to North Carolina. To what extent Duke does use the transfer portal? It's not often. We talked about it in the last game. They do go with Terrell.
See a bit of concern from Nebraska behind the plate. Wondering, is she gonna go? Is she not? They know how aggressive Duke likes to be. Even with one of their best hitters, Gold up to the plate, I wouldn't put it past her for an action call here, something to put pressure again on this Nebraska defense. That's when we've seen Duke be so successful against them, is whenever they're pushing that envelope.
Gold got just a piece, and you nailed it exactly.
There it was. I will say nothing was as worse of a feeling as you stealing a base and it being fouled off and you have to run back and know next pitch you're probably going to have a hit or something and you knew you were going to have to run again. That double sprint would get you.
That one's in for strike 3. Gold can't believe it. And there's the bender for Malinsky.
Fire me up. Nebraska defense, that's definitely what they were. Giving her some love after that strikeout. That off-speed floater, we talked about it, comes in and has just enough float to freeze you.
That's the first couple of strikeouts for the young Nebraska freshman. Terrell over at first. Claire Davidson has had herself a day. But there, the rising action gets the better.
Starting to hear a little bit of life in Nebraska. They're fired up. They're loving what they're seeing from their pitcher.
Olinsky fires it right down Broadway.
That's a rare take on a mistake from Duke. Normally, they're going after it. They're crushing those pitches.
Full count for CD. Now Terrell holding at first. As much as Duke loves to run, I think this is a tip of the cap from Coach Young, saying, hey, Claire is swinging a scorching bat. Let's just let her do her thing. Payoff to Davidson. Misses. And that one's into center field. It was a walk. You don't have to make that throw. That's just an unforced error and a teaching moment for the Cornhuskers.
Yeah, you could hear their dugout yell going. Them not understanding, okay, it's a full count. She's probably going to be running. There's 2 outs. Catcher hearing that, getting caught up, but also gotta know, okay, she's going to be there anyways. Especially once you see the no coverage.
Amina Vega.
Amina Vega right up a chute. Billy sees it the whole way. No harm on the miscue. Still, Duke keeps the scoring going. They add another, thanks to Jada Baker.
Bottom of the 6th inning. It's Duke 6, Nebraska 0.
This time of year, you don't see too many pitchers go into a 6th or 7th inning, but the way that Jayla Wright is pitching right now, it's pretty much impossible to remove her. And so sure enough, about 50 pitches in, which is great considering we're starting the 6th, she remains in the circle here for Duke.
Efficient, effective, unpredictable, in the best kind of way. You're Duke, you can't ask for a better performance. They have been locked in, they have been nailed in. Nebraska has been trying and trying and trying to make those adjustments, but they haven't been able to yet.
Hayden Warner will come off the bench, grab the glove, and go to work.
Can't leave the glove behind.
No.
Leading it off for Nebraska. Catcher 77, Hayden.
Some players won't use it, but once you're used to it, it becomes essential.
It's like a second skin.
Absolutely. The freshman Warner watching strike 1. And I only say that as my point of reference with a golf glove, and I'm terrible at golf, but I know how important it is. Both sports, games of routine and games of failure. There has not been much of the latter for Duke all day today.
And again, there is that unpredictable go in, go up, off speed out. It's all over the place.
swung on and missed. A strikeout and a 2-3 putout. The Huskers down their final 5 outs.
Now batting, first pitch, number 3, Bella Bacon.
Another first pitch strike. Just ruthless.
Look at the
from
smile
right.
on right.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Gets the strike call, turns around, big smile. She's pumped. This battery communicating even then, right there. This is where I want it. Put it right here.
The old thinking is you don't want to aim your pitches, right? But it does feel like Jayla Wright can put it anywhere she wants at any time this morning. Good job by Bacon not to chase. Down, swinging. The 6th K for Jayla Wright. She is now 4 outs away from something special.
Now batting, left fielder 29, Samantha Bland.
Seeing Wright and Freelick work together as a battery back and forth. They are on the same page and you can see it. You can bring this tangible synergy that they have. There's nothing getting in the way of them two. And lockstep right there.
Really the first consecutive set of misses we've seen today from Jayla. And all she does is laugh about it. Breaking ball still works.
I love the ability to go back, go back. 3 in a row right in that same spot. Doesn't miss.
Chopped over, slow roll. Vega makes a nice play. Jayla Wright is 3 outs away, and we are going to have to break the broadcaster jinx rule when the bottom of the 7th rolls around. For now, it is Duke by 6.
Log into your social media accounts and join in on the conversation about your favorite team here at the PD College Challenge. Give the fans back home a real-time perspective about the game. Use the hashtag PD College Challenge for the latest tournament news, notes, photos, and information. Follow the Puerto Vallarta College Challenge on Facebook and Twitter. Designated player, Kelly Torres.
Kelly Torres currently hitting a mean .571 in this tournament, 4.47. This is a Duke team that is consistently rewriting its own record book. And Team 7 is already off to an incredible start. Torres, a ride to Andrews for the first out.
Right fielder, number 11, Kelsey Zampa.
Getting Duke to miss-hit those pitches, to be able to just get underneath it. You know they want those pitches back, but I'm loving what's going on in the circle right now. Just making the most of the opportunities. I think that's the theme, the takeaway that I always got from preseason. Watching these teams, it's the expected players for sure. You're always going to have, this person is going to be that main everyday starter, but there's you always see somebody who you had no idea, the coaches weren't quite expecting, and they just get an opportunity and they ball out and they make the most of it. And then they get another one and they do it again, and then they get another one, and soon enough they're an everyday starter. And I just love to see them go out and compete and do their thing, because right now it's preseason. There's nothing to lose.
And when you reach truly elite status, you've got probably 11 of those players. And then you've got depth and options and flexibility. And that's what Duke has right now. Example of the second out.
Now batting number 5, Maya Burgess.
Maya Burgess will be the pinch hitter coming in for Freelick. A home run in her first collegiate at-bat a few hours ago. So the career numbers for Burgess as we sit: batting average of 1,000, on base of 1,000, slugging 4,000. And good patience as well.
I think that's one of the hardest things to teach a hitter. You can have the power, you can have the ability to tell a curveball from a rise ball, but if you don't have the patience to let that ball get over the plate or let the pitch that you're hunting come to you, it doesn't matter too much. Yes, you're going to still have success, but man, those hitters that have that discipline at the plate, they just go above and beyond.
Great bunt by Burgess. She's got power and speed and finesse. Her second hit. And they could not be more extreme. A home run and a bunt single.
Shortstop, number 25.
And that is what you call versatility right there. I am going to scream it from the rooftops. I love to see that in lefties. Don't become a one-dimensional player. You have all the advantage. Nobody on that Nebraska defense was expecting that.
Hard hit pull by Baker. It's already gone long in this game. That was Kate Olinsky's entrance into the contest. Since then, she's done a great job. There's the grab. And we go to the bottom of the 7th. All the attention will be on Jayla Wright.
The Cornhuskers, nothing.
There are rules for broadcasters in baseball and softball, and we will flirt with them a little bit here. I will not say the word, but I will tell you that Jayla Wright is on the verge of something historic. There is a duty to inform, Nicole, and so we will dance around a little bit. Billy Andrews will lead things off, though. It is 1-2-3 for Nebraska.
Now batting shortstop.
It's a little flirt with destiny, never hurt anybody.
There you go. Good news for Nebraska. No matter what happens here, they get the chance to bounce right back. They will take on Long Beach, a really good team out of the Big West. Coach Souter's done an outstanding job of, a lot like Duke, returning a great deal of talent. Nebraska, too, returning 70% of their offense. So a lot of familiar names in our next game here on FloSoftball. Huskers wrap up with UVU Saturday, 10:30 in the morning. That is hit well with a lot of carry. That's how you break up a perfect game. Billy Andrews goes yard.
Goodbye.
That's what happens when you flirt with destiny, I guess. But man, that bomb was well over. It just kept going. I love that swing. The ability to see that low screwball, and when it's elevated just a tad, to make that adjustment, to get the hands out in front, to get the hands underneath. Been seeing so many ground balls. That's the adjustment that the Nebraska has been needing to make.
All we said was something historic, and to boot, the #2 home run hitter in the Big Ten went yard. That was never really off the table. That's what Billy Andrews represents, and that was the challenge for Wright, going through the top of the order here in the 7th. Still an unbelievably impressive performance for Jayla Wright, currently working on the one hitter with the one run.
Absolutely. At this point in time, it's all about executing your pitches. Have the same game plan that you've been having all game long, because it has been effective. I'm going to have to look after this game at the percentage of Nebraska taking strikes. I want to see what that number is, because they just don't look on time, or they don't look like they're expecting those pitches coming from Wright. It's been so good.
Baker secures the out.
Stepping into the plate, third base, number 7, Sydney Gray.
Gray comes in. By my count, it's 12 first pitch strikes for Jayla Wright in this contest. About half. Just consistently working ahead, commanding and controlling. She's got 6 Ks to show as a result.
At off speed, just tailing down. It had enough break towards the inside half of the plate that it tempted, but the speed difference, that's what really, really made that pitch so effective.
Quick 2 strikes. There's never much of a doubt about this, but this is a great bounce back from Jayla Wright after Andrews went long. Lucky number 7 for Wright.
Lucky number 7 indeed. Just such a complete game. This team,
Now batting,
from the pitching to the defense to the offense, I have been so impressed with them. Nebraska, they're a good team. They have solid hitting. They have solid pitching. And the way that they have been able to make those adjustments and stay ahead of Nebraska every single inning has been so great. I think as they continue throughout the weekend and as they continue to face challenges this opening season, it is all about being able to be in the moment, to get those butterflies in line. Just take it just one pitch at a time.
It's a team that will certainly get better over time. Hopefully as Jordy gets healthier too, that's, goes without saying, a monumental part. But this group has a lot of returning experience. They'll gel. They've got an incredibly veteran coaching staff that completely understands that there are many ups and downs in a season. And that said, I don't think anybody, anywhere, has a tougher first 2 games. Washington and Duke. Wright earns her 8th strikeout, throws a complete game 1 hitter, and the Duke Blue Devils have swept their doubleheader in Puerto Vallarta.
final line score for Duke 6.
Man, what a game, what a performance. I think by far the player of the game is Wright. She came in and she dominated every single inch, save one pitch to 1 hit. Great game out of her. I love that performance. You got to give credit behind the dish. It's called a battery for a reason. Freelick did a great job supporting her pitcher the entire way through. And how about for that base running? Duke doing an amazing job pushing the limits, pressing that button, and a couple of all-star defensive plays.
I forgot about that one from Zampa. We almost lost this perfect game bid way earlier. That has been Kelsey's defense in a nutshell. Duke, an all-around showing today. They have one game left tomorrow night against Long Beach. This group playing as well as anybody, anywhere in the NCAA. We'll step aside for now. On the other side, Tracy and Kat will be with you. Nicole will have you as well for our third game of the day. It'll be Nebraska and Long Beach in about half an hour. For our entire crew in Puerto Vallarta, we'll see you in a bit.